Attention! Attention! All hands on deck! The following video is a non-profit fan-based parody. This is an unofficial Gundam project intended to review and critique the franchise, and in no way is it affiliated with Bandai, Sunrise, or any other group involved with the Mobile Suit Gundam property. Just to reiterate, this is an opinion piece, meaning our opinions may not line up with yours. Feel free to be a crybaby and leave a comment, but I'm running a tight ship here, and I will not hesitate to court-martial you bozos if you get out of hand. There will be spoilers sprinkled throughout. Now then, communications team, patch me through to Discord. And just a fair warning, things might get explosive.
Got it!
There's a bomb strapped to my chest! Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Oh, fuck!
Oh, thank God.
What the fuck?
Neil, where's God?
He's okay.
Alright, welcome back, soldiers. I know you guys have been anticipating a new release for a long time now, and I finally have something to show for it. However, as you can see from the thumbnail, it might not be quite what you were expecting. To be completely honest with you, I'm not 100% through with all of the alternate universe Gundam material. I mean, for God's sake, have you seen that list? That shit is like over 500 episodes long, plus movies. With that being said, I love you guys and appreciate the encouragement and support from my fans. I didn't want to leave you hanging for too long, so I came up with this little spin-off side project as an appetizer to hold you over. You can think of this video like an OVA side entry before the mainline second season. Be rest assured, me and the Retro Robo Boy are hard at work watching through the other anime and will be finished with the next tier list by the summer of this year. As the kiddos say nowadays, let them cook. This is a legendary trilogy in the making. As you might have noticed, I decided to leave the boys out of this one because, well, they turn everything into a shit show. I'm too old to be getting headaches every 5 minutes. So I invited some old friends to help us finish our Universal Century journey. They should be here any minute now.
Well, hey there, Captain. Looks like someone called for backup.
I sure did. Welcome back, Warrant Officer Mass.
Aw, thank you. But just call me Sayla.
Of course, old buddy. Glad to have you back on the team.
And it's good to be back. I can't believe this dusty old uniform still fits. It feels so nostalgic. Well, apart from fighting my brother, that is.
Oh man, don't get me started. Char nearly ruined the video last time. Hope he isn't too big of a sore spot for you.
I'd prefer not to get into it. We haven't talked in years.
Every time I thought we were finally making progress, he'd start maniacally rambling about Earth's gravity and reclaiming our father's glory.
I gave up on him years ago, so let's keep the red comet glazing down to a minimum.
I couldn't agree more. Say, I wonder where the kid is at.
Hey! I'm here to steal the show!
Oh, Judah, you rascal, how the hell are you?
I'm great, Captain Bright! Me and Rue just got done with a space cruise around the moons of Jupiter! That shit was awesome!
Oh, that's terrific. I'm glad to hear it. I've missed you, kid. Glad to have you on board.
Ha! Of course, the third child always has it the easiest.
Hey, What's that supposed to mean?
Just saying.
Hey, it's not my fault I'm insecure about
Oh, hell no! Not again. I'm not picking favorites between you, Amuro, and Camille. All right? It's just been a while, and the other boys just got some issues, okay?
Heh, whatever. As if I don't have my own messed up trauma. At least I'm not a crybaby about it. After all, Camille has me to thank for waking his ass up. And as far as my show goes, I mean, it's called Double Zeta for a reason. It's literally twice as good.
Wow. That is quite the opinion, Judo.
I'm sure that'll go over real well with the fans.
Yeah! Double Z's, baby!
Wow. Whatever, we got one more guest joining us.
Second Lieutenant Shiro Amada, reporting for duty, sir.
Ah, yes. Shiro, happy to have you. It's an honor to have the famous platoon leader join us today.
Yeah, thanks for giving us a hand.
No problem, guys. Happy to help my fellow vets. I will say, it's a pain in the ass trying to get a signal out here in the middle of the woods. There isn't jack shit to do out here, so it can get pretty boring.
I hear you, man. Jupiter can be pretty draining, but thanks to your help, we might get a leg up on the competition.
Oh, shit.
Ah, damn it, Judo!
What? What did I say?
Shiro lost his leg in combat. Show some respect.
Oh shit, sorry, Shiro!
Don't worry, guys. I have a pretty dumb sense of humor. I mean, you have to, especially after all the crazy shit we've seen.
Hell yeah, brother, that's the spirit. With that in mind, let's get this tier list started and have some fun.
Hey, cheers to that.
Let's go!
Now then, on to the mission briefing. Our task is to rank the remaining Universal Century timeline entries to complete the ultimate UC anime tier list video. Again, this is anime only, so that includes TV shows, movies, OVAs, and any other animated media. It doesn't have to be canon, so long as it is set on the UC timeline. Sound good, guys?
Aye,
Loud and
Captain.
clear.
Yup!
Just to make sure we're all on the same page, here is a chart to help calibrate each tier and use as reference when grading each entry. Since this is a continuation of a previous video, I think we should do a little refresher on the tier list for our audience. If you haven't seen the first UC tier list video and don't want it spoiled, now is the time to click off this video and watch part 1. Okay, moving on now. Well, here it is. The infamous Universal Century tier list. For those of you who are returning viewers, you might notice some entries have been moved up or down a notch since last time. While I'm not going to go into depth on my reasoning for each one, there is one series I'd like the opportunity to address to the fans. That is the beloved start to this whole saga, the 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam. In my original review for the series, I gave it praise for establishing the real mech genre, having memorable art direction and great characters. However, we criticized it for its pacing and lack of consistent animation fidelity. We decided to elect the theatrical movie trilogy version over the television broadcast. But in the time since I last spoke about it, I've had the chance to revisit the series in its original version. And I gotta admit, I think our assessment might have been too harsh. While I still think the movie trilogy is an excellent compilation of the series, has beautifully redrawn sequences and fantastic music, it's only when watching it back to back with the series I can truly appreciate how much of the journey was lost. There are so many moments of levity and character that had to be cut for runtime, and while I still think it is one of the best abridged versions of a show ever made, I can't wholeheartedly recommend the trilogy version as a replacement for the TV show. Perhaps I've just grown more sentimental with age, but I'll be damned. For a TV show that is almost 50 years old, it holds up remarkably well. And for that, I have to bump it up to being on par with the movie trilogy and give it a solid A tier. They both have their strengths and weaknesses, but I can't leave the series behind. The journey might be long, but it's a journey I think is worth giving a chance. Thank you to the White Base crew for all of your hard work. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten.
They were just a bunch of kids.
I still think about you every day.
Thank you guys for letting me get that off my chest. Before we move on, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns about the tier list?
Yeah. Just one small little thing.
I'm all ears.
I just want to know, who the hell is the stupid dingus who put double Zeta in
Oh,
C
come on!
tier?
Don't be like that, kid.
Oh boy, here we go.
After everything we've been
I know,
through together,
calm down.
after you used us to replace your brain-dead pilot,
Damn.
after I defeated Haman Karn.
You know, that's actually a fair point.
Whose side are you on? Look, Judo, I appreciate everything that you kids did for me. I would have never asked you to do it unless I believed in you. But come on, man. The Moon colony side plot aged like milk. Hell, it was even ridiculous back then.
Sorry I like to go on wacky adventures instead of committing war crimes every episode.
Damn it! I can't let my feelings dictate everything. I gotta think about the fans.
You could at least give it a B for the boys. Come on, Captain Bright. Please.
Fine. Just this once.
Let's go!
So spoiled.
Give it a rest. And don't start with me, Sayla.
You're not my dad, Captain Bright.
I may not be your father, but I have grounded you both like one, and I'll do it again. Besides, you guys are embarrassing me in front of Shiro.
Don't mind me, just enjoying the show. I live in a fucking swamp, dude. Not much excitement out here, other than the occasional snake in our toilet.
Oh my god!
Damn, and I thought me and Mirai had it bad with the squirrels in our attic. Well, on that note, let's move on with the show. First up, we have a real riot. A series of animated shorts and feature-length films that make us laugh at ourselves. Mobile Suit SD Gundam, the very first official Gundam parody.
Oh, this was so much fun.
Oh, hell yeah! I'm in this one!
And the chibi character art is so cute.
And just to be clear, SD Gundam is referring to the series of animated works that came out between 1988 to 1993. Not to be confused with the Superior Defender Gundam Force series from 2003. That will be reserved for the alternate universe tier list. And for those of you who didn't know, SD is an acronym that stands for Super Deformed. This is, of course, relating to the cutesy, miniature chibi style in which the mobile suits are illustrated. This novel concept all started when a junior high school student from Nagoya by the name of Koji Yokoi sent a fan drawing to the Model News magazine that Bandai was issuing in the 1980s. The super deformed designs were perfect for capsule prize machines and were part of the Gashapon series of various SD Gundam products. It was a hit with Japanese school children, and the concept soon expanded to other forms of merchandising and media, including gunpla, manga, trading cards, anime, and video games, including the now famous Super Robot Wars game franchise. The popularity of SD Gundam was so big that between the late 80s and early 90s, sales from the SD Gundam franchise far exceeded those of the rest of Gundam. And whereas Gundam pioneered the real robot genre of mecha anime, SD Gundam's more comical and exaggerated approach to the genre served to move it away from the ultra-realism that it was shifting towards in the 80s, and inspired a new flood of super deformed robot shows in the late 80s and early 90s.
I would have started collecting those little bastards myself if it weren't for the ridiculous shipping prices to my area. It's probably for the best, though. I would have gotten addicted.
The first series of OVA shorts are referred to as Mark 1 through 5. The early entries were spoofs of the characters from the Universal Century at that point, but later expanded into all kind of wacky shenanigans. As the series went on, they focused more and more on the anthropomorphic mobile suits dressed like samurai in feudal Japan. They look sick.
That's how they get you with those toy sales.
I surrender my wallet.
One of my favorites is the episode where our three main Gundam pilots are competing against each other to see who can host the best hotel.
Meanwhile, my brother and all the villains are trying to crash the party.
And another classic is when we all get to compete in the Olympics. There's so many character cameos, which makes you want to pause the screen and find all the little details they hid in there. You can really tell this is just one big love letter to the UC fans.
Or how about the one that's straight out of an episode of Speed Racer? That shit was crazy!
You know, I'm surprised they never made a Gundam Mario Kart clone. That would print money overnight.
It reminded me a lot of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons I watched as a kid. And if you like other silly gag comic-styled works like Dr. Slump, these classic shorts are right up your alley. But I do have some criticisms. While I do love the Universal Century parody segments featuring famous legacy characters, there is a major shift towards the feudal Japan-styled stuff. While this is definitely still charming and worth checking out, it honestly started to feel more like a toy commercial and didn't have the same novelty as the earlier Mark series and Char's Counterattack parody films. I think this series is often overshadowed by SD Gundam Force in the fan base's collective memory. So for that, I have to recommend that you check it out at least once. There's plenty of great Easter eggs, and for a silly little spoof from over 30 years ago, it actually holds up surprisingly well, thanks to its visual slapstick humor.
It's a shame I didn't get to make an appearance since I joined the party later. But at least our buddies Christina and Bernie got some time in the spotlight together. A glimpse into what could have been for those two.
And I gotta say, they were so out of pocket for how they portrayed Camille. To represent his brain-damaged vegetable state, they drew him with creepy, empty, starry eyes and made him act all loopy. I mean, like, holy shit! Talk about dark humor. They did my boy dirty.
I thought he was actually kind of cute, and at least he got to be a mage in the fantasy RPG sketch.
So what do you say, guys? I was thinking maybe a lower B tier.
That works for me.
Yep.
Well, there we have it. The Mobile Suit SD Gundam collection goes into B tier. Up next, we have what might be the most niche and unique Gundam experience put to screen. Gundam Neo Experience 0087 Green Divers.
This one gave me flashbacks to when me and the missus first met, while we were stuck out in space. Scary stuff.
No kidding, it made my palms sweat.
I'm willing to bet that most people in the audience have never even heard of this, so allow me to fill you in. Green Divers is a short film released in 2001 at the E-Field Digital Entertainment Theater at the former Shibuya Astronomical Museum and Goto Planetarium. The film depicts a realistic atmospheric re-entry through the lens of a Zeta Gundam side story. It was played in the facilities of the planetarium to project the film onto the overhead dome-shaped projection screen, showing the film alongside computer monitors and instrument panels. It was a limited release for various screens, including IMAX, and was later released as part of the UC Engage mobile game.
Wow, so this is some real obscure hipster shit.
And it's a damn shame this isn't readily available for home media, because I think this is fascinating. The story is set during the closing days of the Grips War of Zeta Gundam. Two siblings, Asagi and Takuya, are aboard the civilian transport ship named Prospero that's headed to Earth. Unfortunately, they get caught in a battle between the Titans and the Anti-Earth Union group that damages their ship and sets them on a course to their demise. They have to rush to guide their ship through atmospheric re-entry, and luckily, they aren't alone. They are met by a Zeta Gundam custom that's piloted by none other than Amuro himself.
What we have here is a slow, atmospheric, procedural sci-fi drama about survival. No epic battles or flashy anime powers. Just a race against time and the unrelenting power of gravity.
This is the kind of problem-solving you would see in an episode of old-school Star Trek.
It's an incredibly rare instance where the story revolves around your average, everyday normal civilians, as opposed to a soldier or super-powered badass. Having your lead characters just be normal, everyday people makes the stakes feel that much more real. I can't help but imagine if my kids were in this situation, and it scares the shit out of me. And after watching hours and hours of Gundam content, something weird and different like this is a huge breath of fresh air.
I see where you're coming from, but to be honest, this kind of looks like a potato.
Yeah, I was getting to that. Like I mentioned earlier, this never got a proper HD release outside of museum displays and can only be watched from a phone game rip, which obviously will look like dog shit. On top of that, almost the entire film is split into multiple screens, like a Nintendo DS game, which can be quite challenging and disorienting to watch. But even with the dated CG animation and weird display, what really makes this experience is the sound design. This might be the only Gundam I've seen that actually accurately depicts space as being a noiseless vacuum. The eerie silence, juxtaposed to the droning spaceship interior and alarms, makes for a creepy ambient experience akin to a horror game like Dead Space or System Shock.
If you like movies like 2001: A Space Odyssey, Interstellar, Ad Astra, Sunshine, or The Martian, this is probably the closest Gundam we'll get to it for now.
I doubt most people will dig this as much as me, but I'm still recommending it for people who are itching for a little slice of life world building in the Universal Century.
This one is for the super nerds.
Best part is that it's short and sweet. And to top it all off, it has a cool cameo from Amuro.
This remains one of the only Zeta Gundam spin-off anime other than the prequel 0083 Stardust Memory. If they could have streamlined the presentation into a more traditional format, or even expanded the concept into a mini-series about civilian life in the Universal Century, it could have been something truly exceptional. But the style and lack of availability brings it down a bit. Would you guys be cool with a low B tier?
TBH, I think you're overhyping it. But hey, man, it's your list.
All good with me.
I think that works.
Cool. Green Divers gets a low B tier. Oh yeah. And before any smartasses try to call me a hypocrite for reviewing a museum film and not covering the Gundam Ride movie, all I have to say is, you know what? Fuck it.
Oh shit, Captain Bright is crashing out.
Just roll the fucking clip. What the fuck am I looking at?
Oh shit, oh okay.
If you want to slap a rating on that janky bootleg-ass Cloverfield-looking ass footage, be my guest.
Damn, Captain, what's got you so heated?
It's all these dumbass kids trolling me online. They need a healthy serving of bright slaps to respect the chain of command.
You're gonna have a heart attack.
Okay, I think we all just need to breathe in and breathe out.
Sorry about that, guys. I needed to get that out of my system.
Don't worry, Captain. We got your back. Let's just move on from this.
Alrighty then. Onto a different 3D animated project that I also skipped last time. It's time to take a closer look at Gundam EVOLVE.
Yeah! Finally, another entry that I'm in!
Ha! I knew you would be excited for this one, but it's not the only reason I decided to give it another go. I have to admit, there's more to this little series than I initially gave it credit for.
Not to be that person, but isn't this technically full with alternate universe stuff?
That's correct. So we're just going to focus on the 10 out of the 15 shorts that are based in the UC era. I'm just going to work my way through the list, and you guys can just jump in whenever you want. Sound good?
Gotcha.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
let's do it!
The first episode is just a short compilation of clips from the original Gundam series featuring the RX-782. To call it unremarkable is an understatement, and honestly, you should just skip it. The second episode, however, is where they start to utilize the 3D animation. We have a video recording featuring Camila training in the Gundam Mark II. It has somewhat of a found footage style to it. Nothing to write home about. The fourth short covers the Gundam development project and the testing of the GP-03 Dendrobium. If you are a fan of 0083 Stardust Memory, this one is for you. The fifth short shakes things up a bit. Based on the final battle of Char's counterattack, the new Gundam short tells an alternate ending in which Quest survives the battle and lives happily ever after with Hathaway. I gotta admit, I don't like the idea of my son running off with that troubled young lady. But it is nice seeing a world where she didn't have to die.
This episode was actually written by Tomino himself. He had a change of heart and wanted to give Quest a happy ending.
This one was also aesthetically unique, mixing the 3D with 2D character models, something we would see done more often in later entries like Origin, the Hathaway film, and GQuuuuuX.
The ninth film is yet another Zeta Gundam spin-off, but this time we not only have Amuro, but 2 new mobile suit pilots as well.
Those 3 Zeta customs are pretty badass!
And the purple Zeta is the same exact one that Amuro uses in the Green Divers short film. It really makes the world feel tied together.
What makes this stand out isn't just the 3 Zeta Gundams, but the batshit insane mobile armor that they fight. That freaky shit looks like it came right out of Evangelion.
The lead pilot in this entry is a new character, Yuri Ajisa. She is a new type who admires Amuro and even had a run-in with him on Side 6 during the events of the One-Year War.
And with any new type-centric story, things get really weird and trippy. Yuri is captured by the enemy mobile armor, and it begins to read her mind in order to gain intel on all of the hidden bases and potential targets.
It's like a nightmare sequence from her point of view as they invade her mind. But luckily, her new type connection to Amuro is strong enough to pull her back.
There's some Buddhist imagery used to represent her abilities, giving the new type power a distinctly Eastern mysticism.
All in all, a decent short, but this next one is...
Oh, hell yeah! It's my time to shine, baby!
Take it away, kiddo.
Finally, I get a direct sequel to my show. It's even on my birthday. Following me and Rue's departure from Earth, we are on our way to Jupiter, until suddenly, a Neo-Zeon defector is approaching.
Oh boy, this is when it gets good.
Oh God, don't inflate his ego anymore.
They're being chased by some bad guys. So obviously, I'm a nice guy and step in to help.
Attaboy.
Whatever. I'll admit, I think you and Rue's banter is cute. And it's a real shame you crushed the birthday cake she made with your butt.
Oh God, don't remind me! She got pissed!
Even if it looks like a PS1 cutscene, it was still fun to see the further adventures of the Jupitrus gang. But I gotta say, I think this next entry is my favorite.
That makes sense, considering you have a lot of experience with these.
Are we talking about balls?
Oh no.
That's what she said!
Wow, really?
Got him!
Seriously? Are you guys in middle school or something?
All right, fellas.
All right, Captain.
Wrap it up.
I am locked in.
Good. I'm taking back control. Set 9 days after the final battle of Abo Aku, this short focuses on a small team of RB-79 pilots moving through the wreckage of the aftermath. What makes this one so special is the atmosphere. It feels a little like a cutscene out of StarCraft and has a very creepy vibe. It captures the terror of being a Federation grunt, while also showing the tragedy of the surviving Zeon remnants who were still fighting on after their defeat. The ghost of war echo throughout the stars.
This next one features my brother during the Zeta days. He fights his past Red Comet self in a simulation while training in the Rick Diaz. Clearly a metaphor for the internal battle he was facing.
The next entry is yet another Zeta spin-off about a young Titan pilot named Jonathan. He joined the military to spite his father, only to learn from him that he is about to be a human sacrifice in the nuking of the Jaburo base.
Least fucked up Zeta death.
Should have listened to his old man. And finally, the last entry of the Universal Century Evolve shorts. This might actually be the most straightforward entry, because it's essentially just a CGI remake of the Shalia Bull battle from the original Gundam series.
I'm not one to defend my brother,
But damn! What happened?
Yeah, he looks weird as shit. And Lala creeped me out too. With that out of the way, I can safely say that Gundam Evolve is one hell of a mixed bag. I originally dismissed it for the CGI, but considering this is just an excuse to let directors make shorts based on the titular mobile suits, it's not terrible. I'd probably just recommend picking out the ones that stuck out to you and watching them on YouTube.
And one last fun fact. This is actually available to purchase and watch on the PSP.
I completely forgot that UMDs were a thing!
Considering how dated these look and the varying quality and story, I think I'm comfortable with putting this in C tier. Sound good?
perfect.
Yep.
I'm giving my segment an A tier because I'm a hero.
Oh, please.
Whatever you say, sport. Gundam Evolve gets a C tier. Now, I'm sure a lot of you thought SD Gundam was pretty silly, but believe me, things can get a whole lot more crazy. Get ready for a contemporary take at a Gundam spoof. Gundam-San.
Oh man! This is when shit gets freaky!
No kidding. Why did my brother have to go Free Willy in this?
That's some funny shit.
At least someone finally addressed his obsession with red. They even got down the pose of me from the bright slap meme. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this silly mini-series based off the manga of the same name. Each episode is its own little spoof based on characters and events from the original Gundam series.
Picture Gundam meets Robot Chicken. The episodes are so short, they feel like their own self-contained sketches. The entire series is only about 40 minutes long.
But the real star of the show here is the art style. The wide range of crazy faces are sure to hit your funny bone, along with the insane voice performances.
My favorite skit was the one where Char had a little birdie doppelganger. He was such a cutie. I was rooting for him to get my brother.
I really dug the plotline that shows Haro as a disgruntled businessman. That little guy makes my day.
It's also neat that they pay tribute to Gunpla by using the retro model kits in place of mobile suits. It gives it somewhat of a stop-motion kind of look.
That's cool and all, but we're really avoiding the kinky elephant in the room!
Ew! I was almost able to forget.
Who knew that Amuro was such a freak?
Oh. Right. That makes sense. Anyways, if you've watched enough anime, then you're probably familiar with the perverted humor that saturates this genre. And there's a running gag that Amuro is going through puberty and transforms into a monstrous horn dog.
Absolute nightmare fuel. And let me set the record straight. Me and Amuro are not canon. Thank God I left the series when I did.
I would say to put him on a leash, but his freaky ass would probably like it!
Obviously, humor is subjective, but understandably, this is not everyone's cup of tea.
The hypersexualization of my character was so cringe. I mean, really? What's the big deal? It's just breasts. I just don't get it. Why does society feel the need to sexualize and objectify the lumps of fat on our chests?
Exactly! A real man of culture knows it's all about ass.
Wait, no.
Damn it all to hell.
That's not what I...
No way! Boobies all the way, dude!
I'll fight to the death over this! It's time to finish this. We'll give it an A for ass. Or a B for boobs.
You're on, Chudo!
Ass!
Are you guys serious?
God, I hate my life. Please,
Disgusting!
just make it stop.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, Christ.
God, this is why I hate men.
Please, God,
You're all the
shut
same.
up.
Y'all can
I
just
said,
shut up and die.
Shut up! You know, I thought I finally escaped the bullshit that Amuro and Char put me through, but now I'm starting to second guess this whole thing.
I'm sorry, Captain Bright. I got carried away about my passion. It won't happen again.
I'm sorry too, Captain. And to you, Sayla. I was just trying to horse around with the boys. I don't have a lot of buddies out in the jungle to have guy time with.
Apology accepted. Lock in, fellas.
You two need therapy.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna wrap this shit up before we derail again. Gundam-San was an incredibly fun watch. Even if all the jokes didn't land for me, I still think this is one of the best Gundam parodies made to date. It's short, sweet, and I only wish that they kept going and did spoofs for all the other series like they did in SD Gundam. It won't work for everyone, but I think most people will at least find a few skits that make them laugh. And with that, I award Gundam-San with a B.
Yes!
A, B, for big old booties!
Oh, shit!
No way!
We got you, Shiro!
Man, you got me good!
I can't stay mad at you.
I give up. You guys are ridiculous. You know that?
What can I say? I just wanted to lighten the mood a bit. Shout out to my lovely wife in the audience. I love you, honey.
Aww.
Ooh, baby got back, if you know what I mean.
Oh, wow. That's,
Nice.
Up next, we have another short film on the list by none other than Yoshiyuki Tomino himself. And by short film, I really mean short. Hell, I will probably end up showing the whole thing by the time I'm done discussing it. Of course, I'm talking about the CGI movie, Ring of Gundam.
I'm gonna be straight up and admit, I've never heard of this shit.
That doesn't surprise me. I think I'm going to do a speed round on this one, since I highly doubt anyone has any particularly strong feelings about this entry. Ring of Gundam was created for the 30th anniversary of the Gundam franchise. It aired during the Gundam Big Expo premiere event in 2009 and is based on an unused script written by Yoshiyuki Tomino. Taking place in an unspecified distant future of the Universal Century, a giant 600-kilometer wide ring now floats in lunar orbit. An Earth Federation Forces member named Eiji discovers an object called Beauty Memory, buried in a high-altitude massive rock bed on Earth. The artifact contains the memories of Amuro Ray and will be used to, quote, save humanity. Why, you might ask? It is never revealed. The characters are attacked by mobile suits, and they arrive to what appears to be a new type sealed within a cocoon that holds all of humanity's memories. They then grab that biddy and yeet on out of there. The end. It's short, vague, and ultimately forgettable. It doesn't help that the CGI animation is unremarkable even for the time. Though to be fair, this short is more of a meta-commentary piece about the state of Gundam and the future of storytelling. And Tomino did express interest in expanding on the concept. But as it stands, I really can't recommend it. So I say, skip it.
You weren't kidding. That was fast.
It's not bad per se, but I can't really give it praise. So I'm giving Ring of Gundam a D tier. Speaking of Tomino, it's time to talk about another contribution to the far future of the UC. Though before we do, I must quickly address another series in order to sort things out for the viewers. A lot of people might be wondering why we are not covering Turn A Gundam in this video. While it is technically set in the far future of the Universal Century, and even features the Zaku's in the series itself, it also makes references to the Alternate Century series. Turn A Gundam is somewhat of a convergence of timelines and combines all of the Gundam universes into a nebulous dark history. Considering the show was made as a response to the alternate centuries and essentially was a way for Tomino to acknowledge them in a 20-year anniversary, I felt it was more appropriate to cover it in the alternate century tier list and would lend for a more interesting discussion in that video. I hope that clears things up for anyone wondering. Now then, on to somewhat of a black sheep of the UC timeline. A Gundam series so weird, it doesn't even have Gundam in the title. We are talking about Yoshiyuki Tomino's last entry into the franchise, Reconquista in G, also known as G-Recco for short.
I feel guilty for saying this, but I gave up on this one halfway through.
Phew! Now I don't feel as bad for falling asleep. At least I got to the end.
Yikes! I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, this one is a bit divisive amongst the fans. G-Recco is a 26-episode series that takes place in the Re-Guild Century, a time period that is approximately 1,000 years after the Universal Century. According to Tomino, the story is set 500 years after Turn A. However, Sunrise claims otherwise, so there's still much debate about the true canon. But to be honest, it really doesn't matter. The references to past series are far and few between, and ultimately is disconnected from prior canon.
The story follows a young member of the Capitol Guard named Belry Zenom, who is protecting the orbital elevator Capitol Tower. He encounters and helps capture a highly advanced mobile suit called the G-Self, and its pilot, Ida Surugan, while defending the tower from space pirates called the Pirate Corps. Feeling a connection with both the G-Self and its pilot, Belry is able to control the G-Self, which only a few can.
There's a crazy religious philosophy called Sucordism, which stands for Space Umbilical Cordism. It's super freaking weird. They believe humanity's unchecked technological growth was the cause of the wars of the Universal Century. To maintain peace, technology must remain static and avoid rapid growth. Many technologies are seen as taboo, so all power is run by batteries provided by the Sucordist Church to control everybody. So basically, they all worship a space elevator run by creepy old dudes. But that's just the tip of the iceberg! There's like 10 different factions in this shit. It's super convoluted and confusing.
Exactly! Not only is there a bunch of history and terminology thrown at you every episode, the characters have little to no personality. Hell, Belry shoots and kills Ida's boyfriend right in front of her. But then by the next episode, they are establishing a romantic tension between them.
Oof! I guess you didn't get to this part. But Belry and Ida are revealed to be long-lost siblings who were separated at birth.
What in the Star Wars? This shit is all over the place.
Even I have to admit the show is a bit much. I want to get this out of the way. The animation is great, and the style and art direction is gorgeous. The show has a very soft pastel aesthetic, which is very unique to the franchise, and it has a beautiful orchestral score to back it up. But something very important to bring up is the fact that this is only 26 episodes. On top of that, the show was originally supposed to be completely separate from the Gundam IP, but then was demanded by Sunrise to be rewritten into the Gundam mythos. I've always thought of Yoshiyuki Tomino as somewhat of a George Lucas type, a brilliant artist with lots of great ideas, but one who does his best work when supervised by and collaborating with others. I think this show has some interesting ideas, but the execution is pretty messy.
An example of lore dumping is this series' Char clone Lewin Lee. They give him a mask and literally call him Captain Mask for no reason other than they wanted another cool masked bad guy. But even crazier, he is a descendant of a lower class of people called the Kuntala. And get this, they were used, and I kid you not, as substitute food by the privileged class during a global food crisis. There's cannibalism in this show, and they just casually bring it up in one conversation and drop that shit like it's a normal Tuesday. What the fuck, dude?
It also bugs me how overpowered Bellry's G-Self is. Every other episode, it has some new random power. It's like they just threw stuff on the wall to see what's stuck. But I do have to admit, I am super jealous that these mobile suits finally have toilets. Do you know how much it sucks when you gotta take a dump in a humid, swampy, mosquito-swarmed jungle?
The most frustrating part about this series is how it comes full circle and ends up feeling pointless. Just like every other Gundam that came before it, they are looking for a way to solve conflict without fighting, but end up using violence anyways. Our main character is immature, annoying, and has a mobile suit that makes him invincible and boring. There are way too many side characters who just feel like window dressing, far too many ideas that don't get enough focus, and it all amounts to a show that is bloated and confusing, yet somehow still feels shallow.
I think what makes it sting more is that this was the follow-up to Turn A, a series that was so beautifully executed and some of Tomino's best work. That series felt like a perfect farewell to the franchise and was an exercise on achieving peace through empathy, only for it to be undone by a lackluster sequel over a decade later.
Much like Victory Gundam, this show has a cult following in spite of its negative reception, and I can see elements in this series that some people might enjoy. But personally, I found these 26 episodes to be a longer slog than all of the other 50-episode-long Gundam entries. The one saving grace is that Tomino got a second chance to tell this story in the 5-part compilation movies. While you would think compiling an already crowded story would make it worse, the second half of the story is completely rewritten. And while it doesn't fix all of the story's problems, it is a bit more comprehensible and overall a better end product in my opinion. So with that said, I think it's time we settle the rating. This definitely isn't a good entry series for beginners and would only really appeal to a very niche Gundam fan. And technically speaking, this started off as a different project and wasn't conceived as a Gundam entry until Sunrise bent Tomino's arm. It sits in a weird place where it isn't so bad I would completely write it off, but it isn't something I would enthusiastically recommend. To be honest, if this wasn't made by our creator, I'm not sure if I would be defending it.
I say skip the series and check out the movies. If you aren't vibing with it, just drop it.
That works for me. So G-Recco the series is getting a D tier, and the 5 compilation movies get a low C tier.
Thank God you moved up double Zeta, because G-Recco does not deserve to sit next to my show. Sorry, Tomino, but I prefer to be laid back and have a good time, instead of a pretentious, convoluted mess that insists upon itself.
Do you even know what that means? Dude has letterboxed for 1 week. Now suddenly, he thinks he's the master of media literacy.
Whatever. You're welcome for your cameo, by the way.
Okay, wrap it up. Up next, we're gonna talk about... Oh, I wasn't expecting any calls. Let me just see who...
Well?
Who is it, Captain?
It's nobody important. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, okay. If you say so.
Now then, on to the next entry. This one is a... What the? Oh, come on!
Wow, it sounds like someone really needs to reach you. Are you sure everything is all good?
Yes, I'm good. It's just another damn spam call. We shouldn't be interrupted again. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, where was I? Right, as I was saying. If you thought we were done talking about divisive entries, then think again. Up next, we have a show of many firsts. That is the first US and Japanese collaborative project, first Netflix original, and first Gundam animated in Unreal Engine 5. It's time to tackle this 3D beast, Mobile Suit Gundam, Requiem for Vengeance.
This is one of my wife's favorites.
That makes sense. It was kind of like a Zeonic version of your show in some ways.
I get why she'd think it's cool, but those rubber faces haunt me.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. I have a feeling this is going to be a long one. Requiem for Vengeance is in many respects a spiritual sequel to Gundam Igloo. Just like that series, it uses the current CG tech to tell a gritty Zeon one-year war side story. But this time, we are following a small Zeon ground unit called the Red Wolf Squadron. 11 months after the outbreak of the war, a base in Zeon-occupied Eastern Europe is captured by the Federation forces. The Red Wolf Squadron was sent in for backup. But little did they know they are about to enter a nightmare of survival horror. They must face up against a new, advanced Federation mobile suit called Gundam. Chaos ensues as this ragtag group of soldiers go on a road trip from hell.
So this is what it must have been like for all of the Zeon soldiers who encountered White Base and fought Amuro.
Even I gotta admit, they made the Gundam look scary as hell!
I know, right? It's straight up a slasher villain like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees.
It gave me flashbacks from back in the day when I played Resident Evil and was pursued by Nemesis and Mr. X. Those red eyes give me goosebumps.
And we have Kimitoshi Yamane to thank. He's the GOAT of Gundam mechanical design.
Hell yeah, his stuff looks sick!
He's the same dude who did the designs in 8th MS team. Hence why the Gundam EX in this show looks a lot like my Easy 8.
Since we're on the topic, I might as well lay it out. A major positive here is all of the mobile suit action and design. This is arguably the best that mobile suits have ever looked in 3D, and is easily a proof of concept for a modern live-action Gundam.
Don't forget about Ready Player One! That cameo was epic!
That's true, but here we get to see a grittier and grounded style, akin to a classic Universal Century OVA. Hell, some shots in this are damn near photo-real. The weight, speed, and monstrous presence of these robotic war machines is perfectly captured and is probably the best part of the show. The story and characters, however, are more up for debate. So, let's dig into it. Our lead, Commander Solari, is a unique character in the Gundam mythos. Before the One-Year War, she was a native Side 3 space noid and an accomplished classical violinist. She lived there with her husband and young son. However, she tragically lost her husband during an Earth Federation airstrike, leaving her son alone in space during the war. She is a strong, competent leader who has a gentler side underneath. This becomes more evident when her new type abilities begin to manifest, and the mystery of the Gundam pilot begins to unravel.
Having your main protagonist not only be a woman, but also a mother, really changes the pathos of the narrative. As the daughter of Zeon, I found myself feeling sympathy for both sides and really felt her struggle.
Not only did I see a bit of my wife in her, but I also could relate to the Red Wolf Squadron, because they were like my 8th mobile suit team.
I'll admit, at first I was completely turned off by the design. She looks a lot like a character you'd see in a Western third-person shooter, and less like a traditional anime character. But as I watched the show, she really grew on me.
I had similar reservations about Haley Arhan. When the trailer first dropped, I pegged her as an annoying girl boss stereotype. But honestly, she wasn't bad and held her own.
I really think all of the complaints about the character designs are severely overblown and misguided. First off, this isn't even close to the first time that characters in this universe have had weird colored hairstyles. There's too many examples to count. Secondly, the Principality of Zeon at its core has always been about rebellion and counterculture. Having a character with a bold, punk rock aesthetic fits the attitude of the youth joining the cause for independence. And the Zaku tattoo was also a nice touch. Dudes online just see a side-shaven septum piercing and immediately lose their shit.
I'll be the old head here and bring up a small counterpoint. While I agree that reactions were overblown, the decision to have a more photorealistic aesthetic is a hard pill for a lot of old-time fans to swallow. It was weird back during the Igloo days, and it's still pretty weird now. While I do think these are probably a bit more accurate or realistic depictions of war-hardened soldiers, many fans have grown attached to the classic anime style that has been consistent through the decades. It's a thin line between a good character model and the uncanny valley, so I applaud the creative team for trying. But it definitely doesn't always work. I think a happy middle ground would be something like modern Final Fantasy games. They could have even tried leaning into the original 70s Yoshikazu Yasuhiko style and made a more cartoony 3D anime like the Lupin the Third CGI film. But alas, they did the best they could.
Ugh. Sorry if the women in this cartoon aren't hot enough for you incels to jork your ding-dongs.
Heh, I jork my ding-dong to the giant robots!
Dude, TMI!
I've got nothing to say to that. One character I did find annoying, however, was the field medic Oni Kasuga. While the idea of a pacifist on the battlefield who indiscriminately treats the wounded sounds great on paper, I found his dialogue ham-fisted and distracting. I feel like the themes his character was trying to represent could have been handled in a more subtle way. If he was on my ship, I probably would have bright-slapped him.
Don't forget the General Yuri Kelleran cameo from the 8th MS team. That was pretty cool.
Arguably, our most important character outside of Solari is tragically without a name. That is, the young pilot of the EX Gundam.
This is where I think the photorealistic style shines. While having a very young child as a Gundam pilot is nothing new to the series, having the child soldier resemble an actual real-life child makes the point hit that much closer to home. All my years in warfare, my greatest regret is losing innocent young men on the battlefield.
In the original 0079 series, the new type connection was a romantic one between Amuro and Lala. In Zeta Gundam, it was another romantic connection between Four and Camille. But this time, we have a maternal connection between a woman and a young child who has been corrupted and consumed by the military-industrial complex. Her instinct is not only that of a new type, but that of a mother, trying to protect a child from the horrors of the world.
Superpowered teenage Gundam pilots and empath new type connections are longtime traditions of the Gundam franchise. Yet somehow, this series found a way to subvert my expectations and present cliché concepts in a way that felt fresh.
But the biggest mistake of this series was not having an entire episode dedicated to the Gundam pilot's backstory. While it made sense to keep him a faceless, mysterious monster for the first half, after the big reveal, they really should have given you a glimpse into his perspective to hammer home the emotional impact.
Call me a big softy, but it still broke my heart as a parent myself. Losing a son is a nightmare that haunts me.
I'm sorry, Captain. War is hell.
I'm just glad my father wasn't alive to see what my brother became. Now I'm the last in the Daikun bloodline to carry his legacy through the stars.
You know, this ending had the potential to be as iconic and impactful as 0080. I know, that's a super bold statement. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't watched, but this series goes to a dark place, and in classic Gundam fashion, delves into the tragedy of war. But then, right after the perfect ending point, it goes into a weird sequel-bait ending monologue about how Commander Solari is going to keep fighting in dangerous battles in order to protect children. I mean, like, what the hell, lady? Go home to your kid! The war is over!
Exactly! You hit the nail on the head, kiddo. Overall, I think the pacing of this series was great. It was a simple point A to point B plotline with some gritty robot action. It took classic Gundam archetypes and put on a realistic coat of paint. But the inconsistent animation, lack of a Gundam pilot backstory, and confusing post-climax monologue really bring it down.
So where does that put it on the list?
Well, even with all its faults, I still found it to be an entertaining watch. It's also short and sweet, which helps a lot. I'm thinking a B tier. Sound fair?
For sure.
Good for me!
Totally!
Well, that settles it. Requiem for Vengeance gets a B tier.
And a quick shout out to the producer of this series and violinist, Hiroaki Yuta. The poor guy was replying to comments on social media of people trashing the show, and he was a good sport about it. Much like every other Netflix project, you can tell the production behind the scenes was incredibly rushed and chaotic. Don't be so hard on yourself, dude. It's a good start, and hopefully Season 2 is still possible.
Amen to that. Wow, time really flew by. We're finally to the last. Damn it, will you stop calling me you maniac?
Oh my god, Captain, are you sure it's not an emergency?
Oh, I'm sure all right. Sure that it'll be an emergency if I answer that call.
Shit! Who is it? The Space IRS?
Oh man, I haven't paid taxes in like 20 years!
No, it's not the colony IRS. It's somehow worse.
Well then who is it, Captain?
Look, guys, it's really not worth the pain in my ass to try and explain. I'm just trying to have a good day. So just ignore it and let's enjoy this last one. Are we locked and loaded, gang?
Yes, sir!
That's what I like to hear. Okay, we're finally caught up to the latest release. And yet again, it's another controversial one that's sure to split the room. A world that is a mirror to our own and poses a big what-if question. Last but not least, Mobile Suit Gundam, GQuuuuuuX.
Ah, yes. Hideaki Anno's pretentious-ass Shin Gundam fanfiction.
Damn, you're really going in guns hot, huh?
I mean, am I wrong?
I don't know. I think it deserves a bit more credit than that. I actually kind of liked it.
I'm kind of back and forth on this one.
Looks like we have ourselves an interesting discussion. Let's break it down. We already mentioned Hideaki Anno, so we might as well start by talking about this series' production. The project was hyped up for it being a collaboration between Sunrise and Studio Kara, the studio founded by Hideaki Anno that churned out the Eva Rebuild films. There were also members of the old Gainax crew participating that worked on legendary titles such as the original Neon Genesis Evangelion, Fooly Cooly, and Die Buster. However, Anno did not take up the directing role and instead contributed as a co-writer, leaving his protege Kazuya Tsurumaki to take on the project. Needless to say, there was a lot of talent here, but when you're talking about Gundam and its fans, it all comes down to the mobile suits.
They look weird as hell, dude. I haven't seen mobile suits like this since the bug suits in Victory Gundam. They're giving Bionicles vibes.
That was my reaction at first, but personally, I thought they looked pretty cool in motion.
Historically speaking, Gundam fans' knee-jerk reactions can rarely be trusted. Many mobile suit designs people complained about in the past are now regarded as classic and iconic. I mean, come on! Those model kit sales speak for themselves. I personally found the skull under the Gundam's faceplate really neat, but the Zaku's thick thighs were questionable.
I just know your dickhead of a brother was real happy about finally getting his Red Gundam custom on the big screen. I guess that's a good segue into the story of this series and the strange circumstances which this parallel universe exist. The series is set in an alternate universal century, where Char Aznable seizes the Gundam alongside the White Base ship during the assault on Side 7. Char becomes the pilot of the Gundam instead of Amuro Ray, which drastically changes the outcome of the one-year war, culminating with Zeon's victory. He also teams up with Shalia Bull, a new type who was originally a one-off side villain in the 1979 series, but has been upgraded to a pivotal player in the story. Thus, Lala is replaced in this timeline by Shalia Bull as Char's powerful new type comrade. However, Char and the Red Gundam mysteriously disappear during the war's climax in a phenomenon called Zeknova. Fast forward to UC 0085, 5 years after Zeon won the war. A young schoolgirl named Amate, also known as Machu, lives in the neutral colony Side 6. She crosses paths with a war refugee named Nyan, and their meeting leads her to get involved in an incident when both Zeon and the space police are pursuing the missing Red Gundam after it suddenly reemerges. To catch the Red Gundam, Zeon sends out the titular G-QuuuuuuX. However, while trying to capture it, the pilot crashes into the space colony and is ejected from the suit. In classic rebellious teenage protagonist fashion, Amate jumps into the cockpit, stealing it and defeating the police, allowing the Red Gundam to escape. Then, Amate and her new GQuuuuuuX mobile suit are recruited by the Pomeranians, an underground team of mechanics participating in clan battles, a tournament of illegal mobile suit matches. She meets Shuji, the strange pilot of Red Gundam, and begins to fall in love with him. This leads to a love triangle between Shuji and the two young ladies. Amate chooses to join him and partner up in the clan battles with the Pomeranians, and thus begins the bizarre alternate timeline adventure.
Jeez, what a mouthful.
While that was definitely a long setup, it's actually relatively simple. It's the ending where things get really confusing.
It doesn't help that this series was only 12 episodes long. Boy, do I miss the days before seasonal anime took over the 50-episode slot.
Can't even say that's a good excuse, considering that there have been plenty of shorter OVA series like my show that still manage to tell a satisfactory story.
If I can give some compliments, I will say I did find the new characters in alternate world fun and interesting, especially the concept of illegal underground mobile suit battles. I'm kind of shocked a series hasn't already done that. It's like a grittier Fight Club version of G Gundam.
I totally agree. And it's nice to focus on some ladies for a change. While I'm not all that jazzed about them being schoolgirls yet again, I do think Machu had a fun energy. It's also par for the course to have a teenage main character, so I guess it's fair. I just wish they gave her more agency and connection to the events, and didn't try and rush yet another half-baked love story.
The main issue here is the fact that the series really wants to pay homage to the original 1979 series and be full of fan service, while also expanding the lore with new characters and world building. This sounds cool on paper, but the balance is way off. I thought the alternate history 1 Year War was fascinating. I also thought all of the Zeta Gundam callbacks were fun too. The internal political battle between the Zabi family was classic Gundam drama, but bouncing back and forth between that and Amate's story felt so disconnected. Dare I say it, but I would have actually preferred if they had just focused on the Pomeranians and the clan battle opponent of the week for the entire series. It was a cool, fresh new idea for the series that was strong enough to be its own thing. Each new character has their personal reason why they are fighting, and we get to see a glimpse into how veterans and new types are adjusting to the post-war era. They play around with this idea, but it clashed so heavily with all of the Zek Novashar bullshit and half-baked La-La segments. There is no time for Amate, Neon, and Shuji to have proper development, and thus, they feel like they are just shifting from one plot point to the next.
Speaking of clashing, who the hell thought it was a good idea to have two separate art styles for the same show? I get they wanted to pay respects to the 70s classic, but if you're going to hire the character artist for Pokemon to design your new characters, make that shit consistent! I don't hate the new art style per se, but the same characters look completely different after just one episode. Requiem for Vengeance went too realistic, while this went too cartoony in my humble opinion. I mean, just look at how Char looks in Zeta Gundam, which takes place during the same time as this, and then compare it to the redesign. He looks chopped!
And to think people called him a twink before. He went from 80s hairband to 2010s K-pop.
Haha! This confirms it! Char is definitely Uso's grandfather. The bowl cut is in the genes.
He also got a random-ass Sailor Moon transformation. Last time I checked, new types don't have Piccolo's clothes beam from Dragon Ball.
Shit, man, I stopped pretending to understand new types years ago. I just move out of the way and let them beat the bad guys for me. Even though I think the animation is beautiful and find the newer art style charming, I also found that decision to have it changed during flashbacks to be confusing and annoying. I started the show with a lot of excitement and optimism. I thought the music was catchy, the lore throwbacks were cool, and the little character moments during downtime to be fun. The world really felt alive and lived in, and I chuckled when I saw the Space Colony Uber Eats delivery backpack. I agree with Shiro and think this would have been better off as a suburban slice of life in space that focused on the psyche of the three pilots trying to find their place in a post-war colony society. Have each episode be a vignette that focuses on the plights of their opponents and stay true to the moral ambiguity that the universal century is known for. The main problem with the meta elements is that they ultimately distract from an otherwise strong premise. It forces the majority of the plot to rely on the viewer having already seen the original story, making it unapproachable to new viewers. But even if they made it exclusively for hardcore UC fans, it doesn't excuse the absolute clusterfuck that is the back half of the series. A Zeon Civil War is built up only to be concluded in one episode. Lala and her Elmeth have the ability to create separate universes. Shuji becomes a ghost for some reason. Shalia Bull fights Char because he saw a vision of the future of Char's counterattack, even though those events would be impossible in this timeline. Then the original Gundam comes through a portal as the final boss battle and turns into a giant cosmic kaiju, and the list goes on.
It really bothered me that they built my brother up in the flashbacks, only to have him nonchalantly show up at the end for plot convenience. And they regressed Lala's character by having her choose to stay enslaved and wait for Char to come save her. Way to reduce her to a damsel in distress who's obsessed with him. However, I am very pleased to see myself become Supreme Leader of Zeon, with Ramba Ral as my guard. I'll take my spin-off now, please.
It's a damn shame. I thought the way they represented Amate's new type ESP senses was beautifully done, but then they pushed it into the overpowered BS they always do.
I guess we've come to a consensus. A lot of people call this show trash, but I think that's a little harsh. It has a lot of interesting ideas and a gorgeous presentation, but it's definitely misguided in a few places. It's a fun watch in parts and a neat curiosity at best, but a disappointing and confusing mess at worst. Perhaps my bias is taking over, but I think it's unique enough of a novelty to give it one watch. If not for the creatives behind it, I'm not so sure I would be letting it slip by. But I'm gonna be nice and say it just barely slips past into a low C tier next to G-Recco. Does that seem fair?
Definitely.
Turn A is the GOAT of Gundam multiverses, and that's the hill I'm dying on.
Okay, Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuX gets a low C tier. I do have one more bone to pick. Where was my cameo? I sat around waiting for 12 episodes to see my new design, only to see my wife's bitch-ass ex-fiance Cameron get a whole-ass scene.
Awkward.
They even gave some ultra-obscure random-ass mechanic from episode 40 of the 1979 series his own damn spotlight.
Shit, dude. Now you know how I feel. I haven't been in shit for like 3 decades. At least you got to be in Unicorn in the Origin.
Wow. I guess you're right, kid. I'm rooting for your comeback.
Captain? Didn't they show Char blast a Federation cruiser in the flashback episode?
Yeah, why do you... Oh, that son of a bitch! If Char was here, I would have dropped that shit into F tier just to spite him.
But thankfully, he's not. And instead, I got to hang out with some great friends and have a blast reviewing all these shows.
Aw, thanks, Sayla. I couldn't have done it without you. And that goes for you boys, too. I'm proud of what we accomplished.
Yeah, we sure kicked some ass today.
It was an honor and a privilege, Captain.
Man, I was having so much fun that time flew right by me. I wish that it didn't have to end.
Well, I guess it's your lucky day then, because you missed one of my favorite entries.
Really? I did?
Yep, I just sent you the poster for the tier list.
Awesome. Let's take a look. Oh, wow!
Sounds like it's time for an encore!
That's right! Get ready for peak fiction, boys! The final Universal Century anime covered for our tier list will be the epic crossover of the century. Hello Kitty versus Gundam!
Never in a million years would I have guessed that!
Take it away, Sayla!
Absolutely!
Hello Kitty vs. Gundam is a 3-episode series of shorts made to commemorate the respective properties' 40-year anniversaries. The story begins while Hello Kitty is preparing a tea party. As she does, of course. She is contacted by Haro through her TV and is asked to rescue Amuro. Hello Kitty then watches Amuro's battles from the 1979 Gundam, eventually watching the tragic scene with Lala. She is so emotionally compelled that she travels across dimensions through sheer willpower. This confirms that Hello Kitty is canonically the most powerful character in the Gundam universe.
The fuck?
Hello Kitty arrives to help fight the war, but Amuro mistakes her to be a new mobile suit. Zeon tries to attack her, but she deflects it, and her energy engulfs a Gelgoog, turning it into a miniature, friendly version of itself. Confused and terrified of such cosmic power, Amuro attempts to escape Hello Kitty. The two eventually form a telepathic new type bond where Hello Kitty offers words of encouragement for working together in ending the war. Amuro finally thanks Hello Kitty for giving him hope, and the two continue the good fight of spreading love and joy to all. The end.
Isn't this just a giant commercial for toys?
Yeah? Gundam has always been a giant commercial for toys.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
And it's a hell of a good commercial, too. My wife and daughter bought those Hello Kitty model kits day one.
This is the craziest collab I've seen since Char did those McDonald's ads. He even got his own massage chair. I swear, Bandai Sunrise will animate anything other than a 0079 remake.
Look, bro, as far as I'm concerned, this is absolute cinema. It's easily the best Gundam parody, and maybe even contender for the best alternate timeline. Don't hate her, 'cause you ain't her.
Wow.
The only flaw of this masterpiece is that it's criminally short, but I forgive it. So all memes aside, what's a fair and realistic rating?
I think it's really fun, and I always appreciate some silly shenanigans. But I feel it's sacrilege putting this above any genuine classics. So I say let's put it on top of the other parodies at the bottom of B tier. That's a nice home for Kitty, don't you think?
Deal.
Well, it's official then. The final piece of the Universal Century puzzle is complete. Hello Kitty vs. Gundam gets a comfy spot in B tier. Finally, after all the discourse, here is the updated Universal Century tier list. How bad is it, chat?
Not half bad.
It's perfect.
Yeah, right. You're just saying that because your show got an S tier.
Don't be jelly, dude. It's just an opinion after all.
That's right. And as you can see, my opinion does tend to shift over time. So there's always a chance for things to get a bump up or down. But regardless of some silly rating label, I think we can all agree that Gundam will forever be the greatest mecha franchise of all time.
Yeah!
Copy that! Gundam for life!
Let's go!
Fuck! Why won't he just stay dead?
He? What do you mean by he?
Stop leaving us in suspense! Who is this asshole?
I'm sorry, Sayla. I really am. But somehow, your brother found out about this show.
Oh, shit!
Casvel! Why didn't you tell me?
I'm sorry, guys. I just didn't want to ruin the mood. I was trying so hard to keep it light and fun, but he's a persistent bastard.
You know what? Fuck this shit. I'm tired of hiding.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's so cooked!
I got my popcorn ready.
Answer the call.
Are you sure?
Answer the call.
Fine. Well, if it isn't a fat bunch of traitors.
Nice to see you too, Dick.
How dare you! Doing this video behind my back!
Oh, whatever, you big drama queen. It's your fault for not playing nice.
Yeah! So cool it, Unk!
Shut up, Judy!
The name's Judo!
Whatever!
I ought to kick your pompous ass!
Ha! If you're so tough, where were you to stop my master plan?
Oh, excuse me for literally being 365 million miles away, asshole! If me, Amuro, and Camille teamed up, you and your fascist buddies would be cooked!
In your dreams! Not only did you review my glorious comeback without me, you bumped down Gundam Origin without explaining yourself.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Were you jealous that they focused the whole story around me?
Not only did I drop it because I thought putting a prequel above the original was a little sacrilege, but I actually thought they portrayed your character as too evil. My mistake.
We all know that Gundam Origin is just Char's made-up fan fiction he told to Camille to make himself sound cool.
I am cool! Cooler than any of you will ever be!
Even cooler than your little sister?
Artesia?
Yeah. Hello?
What the hell is this?
You're so self-absorbed, it took you that long to remember I exist.
Oh, this is just rich. Bright, you are one fucked up schemer to set this up.
Captain Bright didn't set up shit. We were minding our own business before you killed the vibe.
I am the vibe! Regardless of your petty feelings weighed down by Earth's gravity,
Not this again.
we all know that I am the most popular character in the Gundam franchise.
You are such a cornball!
More Char equals more views, bitches.
Let me guess. You're going to ramble on about Gaia Gear and how it's peak.
Oh, don't tempt me.
That's it. I will not stand by again and let your mommy issues ruin everyone else's life.
You dare!
Do you think you're the only one? They were my parents too. I carry that pain with me every day. It's no excuse for how you're acting. I went through my life thinking you were dead and was thrust into a war of unprecedented death and carnage against my will, only to then discover you were still alive, fighting on the other side. Every day I was afraid one of us was going to kill the other. We were all we had. After the zombies were gone, I gained a sense of false hope, watching you work alongside Bright to bring justice against the corruption in space. But then, after Camille, you became something even more twisted and broken. My heart was shattered into a million fucking pieces. I didn't recognize my brother anymore, and I was so paralyzed with pain. All I could do is watch you kill yourself. I thought that the Green Aurora was the last I would ever know of you. But then, I saw your new type essence had returned to join the gang for a tier list video. And I thought maybe, just maybe, you had changed. But no! You're the same jerk you've always been!
Artesia.
But for some stupid reason, after all this time, I still have hope. Because I know, somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you. Casball? Casball? Oh.
Holy shit!
Wow, that was insane.
Well, that's just great. Another tier list ruined. This couldn't possibly get any worse.
What up, pimps?
No!
Oh, shit! Go, monkey, go! Go!